The FPL Fan Show is back. New season, new studio. I'm FPL Prince.
I'm FPL Nacho.
And today we're going to be talking about the best value players.
Yes.
Nacho, kick us off.
Let's kick it off, right. So we've got to start with the goalkeepers firstly, haven't we? And I think there's only one 4.5 million goalkeeper to consider, and that is going to be Brighton's SANCHEZ. Now, this has been the guy that everybody in the Twitter sphere has been talking about, and I think rightly so. Brighton last season were posting really good underlying stats, and I know they've lost Ben White. Now, is this going to hinder their defence, do you think?
I think it will slightly, and I think if they lose Basuma, it will really have a big impact. But I like Potter as a coach. I think he sets up in a really good defensive system. So I think for 4.5 million, I think SANCHEZ is really good value as a goalkeeper.
Yeah, I think it's the position you don't need to worry about. I think you put your cash there. Now, if you are looking a bit higher than 4.5 million, who do you think we should be considering? Is anyone in the 5 million bracket?
I quite like Meslier, but we'll go with Henderson from Man United because I think for 5 million for starting in Man United, say defender, goalkeeper, that's reasonable value. Now there is rotation worries, isn't there, with De Gea? But I think Henderson is number one, so he's reasonable value. What do you think about him?
Yeah. I think the big thing with Man United, we need to understand if he is going to be number one, starting week in, week out. We can't be having a rotating goalkeeper as your number one. I think SANCHEZ is just the guy you lock in. Don't bother about rotating goalkeepers. I personally think we just go for him week in, week out, and you get them clean sheets now and then. And I think that's the way to go forward, really. I think that's the best strategy. And the reason being is there's a few Man United defenders we should be considering, isn't there?
So let's talk about the best defenders value-wise. So Luke Shaw, 5.5 million. Now, there is a bit of an injury worry with him, and we're not entirely sure if he is going to start the season.
What a hero playing with broken wrist, by the way.
I know. And do you know what? He's been fantastic this whole last year.
Yeah.
Attacking-wise, I think he's improved so much, and defensively. But 5.5 million for Luke Shaw is really good value. Bear in mind, Man United will probably buy a centre-back, maybe Varane. I think they're going to be a lot more solid this season. So you're going to get more clean sheets, and you've got the attacking potential.
Yeah.
What other defenders do you like?
Yeah, so firstly, I think Luke Shaw's top pick. I think we spoke about Brighton. Now, if you are going for SANCHEZ, I do think there is value in the double up in the Brighton defence. So I think Lamptey is definitely one. Obviously, he was on fire at the start of the season. He didn't necessarily return big, but he was so busy on the pitch. I think he is going to be looking forward to a big season. So at 4.5 million, I think he's a real great value pick. And I do expect him to come straight back into this Brighton side. I don't really see who's going to keep him out. So I think Lamptey at 4.5 million is a real nice option because balancing Luke Shaw at 5.5, you kind of need them sort of players. So what's your thoughts? Lamptey pick?
I think Lamptey is a decent pick. My only slight concern is his injury record.
Yes,
obviously, he missed so many games regularly last season.
His style of play kind of.
Yeah, and I do think without Ben White and kind of without Basuma, I think they probably won't be as good defensively. So, yeah, attacking wise, he's great. 4.5 million, can't really argue with that. But just be careful with it.
Yeah.
Other defenders.
4.5s. So AYLING. Let's talk about AYLING in a minute because
love AYLING.
We've lost Dallas, haven't we? Our hero from last season has become a midfielder. RIP Dallas. So AYLING's the one that we've got our attention. Should we be considering at 4.5 firstly?
Yes.
Yeah?
I absolutely love Luke Ayling. Okay, I had him last season, and to be fair, I didn't have Dallas, and it killed me.
Yes.
It killed me.
Yeah.
But I really like Luke Ayling because last season, statistically, he kind of under-delivered. Like, his stats kind of suggested that he could have done a lot more. And I think at 4.5 million, in the last 12 games of the season, I think Leeds had kind of one of the better defences.
Yeah, he's done well.
Really
well.
I think when you get clean sheets, you've got that attacking potential. He's a good crosser. He plays, I think he's vice captain, so he plays most games. From nailed on, really great value.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. The way their sort of style is, and I was really impressed with the way they kind of tightened up at the back end of last season. So yeah, I think 4.5 million. Fixtures are a little bit iffy at the start of the season, so he could be a guy to bring into your side. But as an enabler, alongside Lamptey at 4.5, I think he's a great pick. So I'm so annoyed right now because we're going to have to talk about Everton assets at some point, aren't we? And we're on the defenders. I'm just going to let you take this one, mate.
Oh, I've waited for this moment. I've waited months for this moment. Luca Dean. 5.5 million.
Okay, that is a steal, isn't it?
Oh, mate. Unbelievable. I think that's a gift that you just can't refuse because there's so many things going in his favour. Last year, you've got to remember, he was injured for quite a bit of the season. So I think that's why they've costed him quite low.
Yep.
What's really important about Dean is you've got Rafa Benitez now in charge. He's quite a good defensive manager. I think Everton are going to kind of shore up a bit more this season. So there's going to be more clean sheets. You factor in, he's probably going to be on more set pieces now because Rodriguez is likely off. Sigurdsson is away doing other activities, which we won't go into.
Yeah, we won't touch on that one.
Nope. So you've got that as well. And I think, Everton are going to probably buy right back. So I think teams won't gang up on Dean like they usually do. Because that's how you stop Everton playing. So he's got more set pieces. He's going to be more involved. He's going to play other games. Everton got great opening fixtures. Luca Dean, fantastic value.
Okay, yeah. So we go in your team. Yeah,
we're
locking that in.
You better like him. You better like him.
No, I do like him. Obviously, new manager. I understand why people might take a bit of time to see it, but he does look like a real good pick at 5.5. At 6, I still probably would have considered him. So 5.5 seems like a real good value. And I think really that's kind of the defenders we're really thinking a great value right now. So let's look at the midfielders. And I'm quite interested at Arsenal right now. I think they're a bit of a transition stage right now. And they have a few good youngsters in the side. And one that I think a lot of us had our eyes on is going to be Smith Rowe. So coming at 5.5 million. Rumours that he's picked up the number 10 shirt. I'm not sure right now, but he looks like if he does get minutes in that side and he's the creative 10, he could offer real good value. So is he someone you're considering right now?
I think you've hit the nail on the head there. Yeah, I think for 5.5 million, if he's starting for Arsenal in the number 10 role, which is big, I think it's good value.
Yeah,
I think it's really good value. I think he had a decent season last year, a bit of a breakout year. Good, reasonable attacking numbers. I expect him to build on that.
Yep.
So 5.5 million can't really go wrong.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to bring us on to. I just had a look at another Arsenal midfielder, which I quite like. That's Pepe.
Yeah.
7.5 million. He had a really good end to the season last year, scoring quite a few goals. What do you think of him?
Yeah, so I think Pepe's the sort of guy since he's come in where he's offered so much and he's had so many glimpses, like 10 minutes in 90-minute games, but really is under-delivered, hasn't he, really? I think if Arteta can really get him into this system, I'm not really sure how he's going to be lining up this team right now, so pre-season will show, but I think he's a perfect example of a player that you monitor at the start of the season. Arsenal have a tricky game week 2 and 3, so I think the best thing for both Pepe, potentially Smith Rowe as well, is monitor the first 3 fixtures. Game week 4 onwards is brilliant for Arsenal, and that's the time possibly to go in on these assets. Smith Rowe at 5.5, you could probably take that risk with them tricky fixtures and trying to just bench him now and then. So Pepe's probably the one to avoid right now at the start, but I think from game week 4 onwards, he can be amazing value.
All right, well, let's go on to another team. I quite like the look of the Leeds mid-price midfielders. I think there's good value here. So the one I'm going to touch on is Rafinha. Very popular. Yeah. The reason why I like Rafinha is I think he's been priced so low at 6.5 million because he was a new signing last year and they kind of bettered him. He didn't start every game. He started quite a few on the bench and then towards the end of the season, he was starting every game. He's on all the set pieces. He's so attacking and he's just a brilliant player. Absolutely brilliant player. So I think for 6.5 million, he's fantastic. Now, what I want to know is, what do you think about Rafinha versus Harrison? Because I think Harrison is really good value at Leeds as well.
Yeah, I think Rafinha is the classic thing where he is the guy on the eye test that catches everybody's attention, the skills, everything. But when you actually look at the delivery and the FPL points, I know Rafinha probably played less minutes, but Harrison delivered last season. And at 0.5 million, on the face of it, you probably would say, get Harrison in, but looking at the underlying stats, I do think that Rafinha's probably got more to offer this season. So if I was looking at the two, I would expect Rafinha to probably kick on this season. And I think Harrison's probably had that big season last year. He probably could maybe manage that again, but I can't see him overperforming again. So I think Rafinha, I actually am going to say he's probably the best mid-price midfielder about. He might be the best value player to start the season off, really. I think he's that big of a player. So I'm expecting big things from Rafinha. I think you shouldn't go short. Just go for Rafinha and pay that extra 0.5, really.
That's quite well put for you, actually.
It's okay. I'm articulating the season, definitely.
I don't know what's going on. You're speaking English this year.
Oh, People are caught on and not Spanish. That's the thing.
They have. All right, so do you think there's any value in the 4.5 million midfielders? Because one I've got my eye on is Brownhill at Burnley. Now, he's in good form in pre-season. Did okay at times, last year for Burnley. And the important thing is, we think he's going to start most games. And that's what you want from a 4.5 million midfielder, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's him, Gilmore,
and we got Basuma as well. Those three. But I think Brownhill does nick it here. Now, let's not get excited here. We're not saying that Brownhill is going to get goals every week, but I do think that he is going to get minutes and he is going to be more of an attacking threat than both Basuma and Gilmore. Gilmore is expected to be on set pieces, but again, new player into that side, that could change. I think Brownhill's the comfortable pick for me out of those three. And yeah, scored 2 over pre-season. That's one to pick on as well. But yeah, I think Brownhill is the pick. The one I want to touch on quickly, Brentford's, and I can't pronounce it, but it's something like Embuemo or something, at 5.5 million. Now, I don't know too much about him, but what I do know is that he can play out of position in that front three alongside Tony, and he's definitely one to consider alongside Smith Rowe in that position. But right now, I would say go down to Brownhill at 4.5. Free up that cash to go into these mid-price midfielders and forwards available.
I agree. So talking of forwards, is there any forwards that we think offer good value? Now, I'm just going to say one, which I think I think Danny Ings could be good.
Yeah, I'm going to let you touch on this one because I'm a bit dubious on this one personally because I think there's so many good mid-price forwards. But you have considered him. What's your thoughts?
Because I think when Danny Ings plays, he practically scores every game.
Lethal.
Now, we need to see where he's going to be playing. You know, if he's playing at Southampton, I still think he's great value. If he gets a move like a City or a Tottenham or whatever, obviously maybe even better value. Yeah. But I think with Danny Ings, you know when he's fit, he's going to score. So 8 million is a really good price. And we forget the season before last, he actually did really well. I think he was 8.5, kind of that area. So he's good value. But is there any cheaper strikers you think could be good value?
Yeah, so I think everyone's got their eyes on Brentford's Tony. So I know a lot of his goals in the Championship came from penalties. Really, are they going to get that many this season? I don't know. Obviously, Brentford style of play may encourage it, but guys, VAR, come on, who knows if you're going to get a penalty this season. So I do think he's a real nice enabler. Pookie, no, do not touch him. First 6 fixtures are horrendous. So I think Tony to go into him is a nice enabler to bring yourself onto the likes of Danny Ings, because I don't think that you can have yourself Ings, Calvert-Lewin and another 7.5 with the premium midfielder. So Tony is going to be a great value forward to get yourself into these premiums later on in the season. So yeah, I like Tony. I'm not sure what your thoughts.
I'm actually not sure on Tony.
You're not sure?
Yeah,
okay.
I'm going to stick my neck out and be a bit different and say I'm actually not that sure about him.
Yeah.
Because I think really nice player, but we're forgetting that, Brentford are a Championship team coming up to the Premier League. They're an attacking team, but they're not going to get as many chances in the league. They're not going to get as many penalties. When you take that away, he's just not going to do as well. Yeah. And I think there's so many good, mid or lower price forwards that I think there's more reliable options. Pay a bit more to get the reliability.
Brentford from game week 2 onwards. But yeah, I know what you mean. Promoted sides, promoted players, they can be risks at the start of the season, so just take that in mind for sure.
Yeah. All right, so that wraps up this video for the best value players. If you've enjoyed it, give the video a like, click subscribe. And obviously we're going to be dropping loads of videos all through pre-season.
All pre-season, yeah. We're just glad to be back, aren't we? Really, we can't wait to get it going. Obviously, notification bell's a big one, guys, so you get updated. There's going to be a lot of content coming this pre-season. But yeah, otherwise, just so good to be back, mate, isn't it?
Well, I haven't missed you, but apart from that, it's good.
Yeah.
No, but thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.